Hi guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Saturday the 24th of October. And the moon moves into Aries, and I gotta tell you, today we're gonna have one of those days where we're like, holy shit. That's what we're gonna say with this day. What the frack? I don't know how to describe this. It's so stupid. Okay, so we just gotta have all this stimulating energy and brewing up everything to the surface and emotional depth. And so of course Aries, Uranus and Aries energy has got to kick in at some point and autocorrect, right? What spirit is trying to say to us, right? So we had this emotional, we had all this energy asking us to take a look at us in the most vulnerable state that we can find, which is our unconscious wounds, right? Our deep emotional desires for life and very feminine energy, right? So then we got all vulnerable and butthurt. So now we're like, dun 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 dun, let's Aries this crap out and kick a little ass. And so this is ego versus emotion again, and this is the dilemma. So let's talk about, so what jumped to me when I saw Sunday's reading is Uranus and Aries is going to quincunx Venus, quincunx Jupiter, and quincunx Mars. Are you kidding me right now? Like, first of all, Uranus and Aries and quincunx, damn. This means ego. This means conflict. This means rebelling, right? This means, it means liberating yourself to the point where you're only energetically connecting with your desires, where you're not taking into account the effects that it can have on somebody else, because you just got all butthurt off of, because you were emotionally vulnerable. So now you are in protective mode and your ego is stepping up. So what happens, I think, is our body's a really cool system. When we become, our body always wants to maintain, as far as in health, in the physical health, it wants it to remain in a state of homeostasis, right? So if we eat a lot of salt, then we want to drink a lot of water, and that helps us dilute the salt in our system. I kind of feel that like that's what happened. What I feel like is we got really emotionally bombarded, and we got overly stimulated in emotional energy that really bubbled a lot to the surface. Now we need Uranian and Aries energy to go in and to liberate us from these vulnerabilities. So a lot, it's kind of like what happened was, it's kind of like we had a firecracker and then we lit a match yesterday, or we lit a match in all of this vulnerable Chiron and Pisces and Neptune energy, and it ignited the match, the emotional momentum. But the explosion that happens from this firework, right, is this amazing display in the sky and of forward movement, and that's Uranian. That's Uranus. But what happens is often as human beings, what we do is, okay, say we're in a relationship with a narcissist, right? And we're talking about an overt narcissist, somebody who is just emotionally abusive, physically abusive, very, very horrible person, very self-oriented person. Then what often happens when people are in relationships with those is they go ahead and they have a relationship with a covert narcissist, which is polar opposite from what the overt narcissist appears to be. Selfless, victims, codependent, but still a narcissist, right? Still dysfunction, but at the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And then after we finish with those two karmic relationships, we meet in the middle and we find balance, right? We find a balanced relationship where we don't seek that kind of love bombing or that need to devalue ourselves enough to stay with somebody and earn their approval. So when we're with the overt narcissist, what we're trying to do is we're trying to gain approval, right? We're working on where we need to find approval of ourselves. And then when we go with the covert narcissist, it's where we're emotionally vulnerable, where we need validation still, but on a deeply emotional level. And then we meet in the middle where it's like we don't need those things anymore. We just need balance. And so I think that's where we're at. We got really overly stimulated, right? We got really overly stimulated emotionally, and then our ego stepped in and swung the pendulum all the way to the other side, and that's what we're experiencing today. And that's okay. That's what we do as human beings. That's part of the human being. That's part of being a human, existing as a human being. So Uranus in Aries is quincunxing Venus in Virgo, Jupiter in Virgo, and Mars in Virgo. So some of you may have had things, I think for many of you, this is an internal process, not so much an external process. This is where you are feeling emotionally vulnerable. And so your ego is stepping in and trying to make sense of what this all means. Like, what does all of this mean? It's so foggy right now for us to understand the meaning of all of this. We have Mercury in Libra right now in opposition, and with Uranus and Aries. So we're trying to find balance. We're just asking ourselves over again, why? What does this mean? What am I supposed to take from this? I understand that Spirit was talking to me, but what was it trying to say? I don't think we know, right? And so I think we're feeling confused. I think we're feeling emotional. And I think when you have Uranian energy like this in Aries, I think what's happening is it's all in lower vibration. We feel the need to be validated. We feel the need to find peace and balance in this energy. Often at the point of contention, often we take stands to get attention in a negative way. Meaning, you ever see a child and they throw little tantrums, and it's usually just because they wanted your attention, not because they're throwing a tantrum because they're a brat. They're throwing attention because negative attention is still attention. So I think that that's what we're feeling. And so we're feeling very vulnerable and very self-protective, and there's decisions that need to be made, but we're so vulnerable in this revelation process and in this awakening process that and that we feel that there's a big change coming. I think the need to find alignment and to seek balance in this energy is of the utmost importance to us, and logic isn't going to cut it. I know that seems crazy, for the most part, many people rely on logic to make this stuff go away, but it's not logic based, right? Saturn and Sagittarius is going to be squaring off with Neptune and Pisces. So it's asking us to get control of these emotional issues that we're having, and for us to have the confidence to move forward at a state of vulnerability. This can happen through positive routines. I want you to be very good to yourself during this time. I want you to understand that this is an internal war, a war with inside yourself. If you see that if you have been disappointed in some of your outcomes, it's becoming clear to you that you're responsible for your outcomes. You can blame people all you want to, but people only point out where you are deficient, right? Or where you're strong. They do both. So if you're deficient in an area and you're getting a lot of negative input from people, then you're deficient. That's your awakening, is fix that area, right? And let the wounded healer Chiron go in and start to heal this deep, dark wound that you're hiding from yourself. Don't suffer, right? Here, don't do that. Okay? Don't sit there and suffer in silence and wonder why this change. There's a lot being asked of you. Opportunity, change. You know, the past, what you just went through, the past stuff, all this Libra energy, balancing everything out, making decisions. It's just, I really want you to concentrate on stabilizing your sun right now. Stabilizing your emotional well-being. The sun in Scorpio is going to be in quincunx with the South Node in Pisces. So this is wanting you to acknowledge where you want to escape, where there was delusion, where you need to surrender your ego, and you need to acknowledge that you are deeply vulnerable there. Look, we're not staying here. We're not. This is all for, look, all this energy is moving us forward, right? We're not staying here. But we've got to see where we have emotional blocks. We've got to see where we're standing in our own way, where we're losing personal power, where our foundation is unstable because of the things that we have buried deep within us, and liberate those areas and allow those energies to grow and flourish within inside us, and to unblock them from old belief systems. So much deep energy, so little time. Anyhow, guys, don't worry. As I said before, it gets so pretty. We're getting better and better and better. And just get all emotionally vulnerable and enjoy all this water energy. And for all you water-based signs, this crap is like, yeah, baby, you're feeling good. I think water-based signs are like, wow, I am experiencing healing, revelation, liberation. I am feeling potential, opportunity. I think those people are really getting a really big energy boost from the universe. But anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again tomorrow.